Welcome to Not Your Grandmother's Furniture, where I'm going to be taking pieces of furniture that are excellent quality, but look like they came out of your grandma's home and make them more modern so that you'll actually want to put them in your home. This week, we're going to be doing this piece. I got this from Goodwill, I think it was either $15 or $45. I don't remember, it's been a couple of years. To make this a little bit more modern, the plan is to replace the legs. If I can, I'm gonna pop off this wood detail because I just feel like the shape of this is very dated. I want something more straight. We're gonna round the arms. It currently has a ledge on both sides like this. I don't like that. I'm happy to keep the ledge on this one side and the back side, but I wanna round it across the front. As well as the back, it has a strip of fabric and piping. I know I'm just taking away some of the character or the work that went into this piece, but I just feel like it looks dumb. So I'm still deciding if I'm going to do a channel tufted back or a flat back, but those are currently the changes that I'm going to be making. And to begin, we're going to get the couch naked. So let's tear down. To start, we take off the cushions and flip the couch over. A lot of the staples on this one are going to be on the outside, but the back is wrapped underneath, so I still will have staples on the other side to take off. Ooh, check out these rings. To begin, we're going to take off the back. I'm going to be using my 1.5-inch Osborne staple puller and a dull pair of dikes. I really like the Milwaukee ones because they fit in my hand really well. So I'm just going to remove the staples across the back here, and then they should have a metal tack strip down the sides, which is going to be a little bit easier to remove than the staples. I'll go through with you how to pry up. So you have two prongs on your staple puller. I like to put one end down and rock it up. You're gonna be rocking it up on this edge of the staple puller. Don't put it down like here and lift it this way. You'll break your prong or bend it. So if you need to, twist it to get it under, but rock it back onto the back side to pry up. I go and pry up all the staples along one side. So I'm gonna do this whole edge, and then I'm gonna come back through with my dikes and pull the staples out. Sometimes you get your staples to come all the way out, both legs like so, but most of the time that's not the case. You're just gonna lift one leg out and have to come back with your dikes to pull them out. So the fabric across the bottom is released. So now we're gonna come up this side. It's gonna have a metal tack strip, and you're just gonna pry it up. You can use a flathead screwdriver, which is a little bit easier than this one, but this is what I always have on hand, so this is what I use. After the sides are released, we're gonna pull the back off. This is gonna have usually a layer of Dacron of some kind, which is what this is. A cardboard tack strip, which is right here, which makes a neat fold over the fabric. So we're gonna pry all that up and then remove the fabric. They did a good job with the cardboard on this couch. It's cut wild, wiggly wobbly. Do you think I'm gonna find any treasures in here? If you take this off carefully, you can reuse it, but I am just gonna replace it with new. Once the back is off, we're going to have some piping to take off right here, and then all the fabric that is wrapped around the back we need to release. So it's on the sides around the back, the top around the back, and then the front of the couch, the arms are pulled through a gap in the frame and secured down. So all that has to be released. On the bottom, because this is the base of the couch, this is the back of it, there's also going to be fabric that's pulled through the gap in the seat here. So this all has to be taken off as well. Anything that's stapled on back here that is fabric needs to be taken off. It needs to be released from the frame so that the fabric can be removed. Whew. Since we're in the front again, we're going to pull off our double piping. Most of the time it's either glued or stapled. This one is stapled on, just in the channel that they have. And I'm just going to pull it off. Just make sure that when you're pulling it, you're not grabbing the staples and getting them in your hands. So to remove these buttons, I'm just going to pull them up and snip the thread. Just pop them out. On older pieces, you'll also see buttons along the decking because it pulls it down to create a little ledge so that the cushion is less likely to slide forward. So I'm going to remove these buttons as well while I'm right here doing the same way, just pulling them up and snipping the string. So all of these cotton wads can be pulled out now. This is where you pulled the strings through and tied them around, which is how it was tufted, but we don't need any of those on there and they'll eventually just fall out, so we'll take those out. Now we have our decking and the inside back fabric is pulled through a gap in the frame and then secured down to the frame here. This is usually where you'll also find some treasures if there's anything that's got stuck in the couch. You want to make sure that you go through and remove the staples that are sticking up, because as you're putting your hand up or moving around, you're gonna snag your clothes on it, snag your skin on it. It's just best to just remove all the staples. Smells like old people in here. It's a bummer, no treasures in there. I love when I find like old coins and stuff, matchbooks. Sometimes if the fabric is a thick enough material, prying it underneath is easier than trying to dig down into the fabric. So you'll see me use a couple different techniques with prying the staples out, depending on how the fabric is, how the wood is, just what's going to get it out easier and not make my hands tired. This is where the opening is, where the inside back and the inside arm are pulled through to secure onto the frame. So fabric needs to be detached from the frame as well in this area. Okay, we have a majority of the back taken off except for the part that comes around the top to the back. And that is because the piping comes from here and it's one piece that goes all the way around the back side. Instead of trying to cut it and so I can remove that section, I'm just gonna remove the side first and then I can remove the piping. So this is most likely put on with, actually, this is hand sewn on. It's gonna be really easy. Normally they're put on with curvies, which we will talk about, or ply grip. I've heard them called both. I was taught with curvies, so. And then this looks like it's going to have a metal tack strip here and then a cardboard tack strip in this area. Again, depending on your fabric thickness and how sturdy it is, sometimes you can rip it all the way off, and it depends on your staple size and how hard the wood is. There's a lot of factors that go into it, but sometimes you can just pull your fabric off. Again, make sure that you're not grabbing the staples into your palm when you do it, but if you can, it will save you some time and some wear on your hands. I found something. Oh, this has been covered before. Okay, so we have the arms off. Now we're gonna go back to the back and take off this top section and the back that's holding this on, and then we're almost finished pulling it apart. We have this front apron and the inside arms to do. So it's almost done. There is a strip of fabric across the top of this that is held down with a cardboard tack strip, and it has piping. So we're going to flip it back, pull the cardboard tack strip off, and then the piping, and then all of this top part will be released. Okay, so this was the original fabric on the piece, and this is a 8-way tied spring couch, and so I want to make sure that the springs are still tight and that they haven't broken. So I feel like I need to take this off, but I don't really want to, because none of it actually feels bad, but I feel like I probably should. I don't know. Let's take this off though. This was the color of buttons it had on the couch before. I wish I could see what it looked like before. So this section right here is a separate piece that they upholstered, and so I'm going to knock this out. It's a wood piece, so I'm just going to take a hammer on the inside and then just knock it out. See, it's just nailed into place with these, and I'm not going to be. I'll probably maybe put the wood back in, but we'll see. I'm going to take this off, and then this arm is uncovered. Now really the question is, do I want to take off this base and just make sure that the springs are still tied, or do I just leave it because it doesn't seem to have an issue that I can't see? I'm leaning towards not opening it up because it doesn't seem to be anything that I need to fix. The dilemma. I think it's probably fine. They look beautiful in there. Now we need to decide if we are taking off these legs and the front and replacing them, which is what I'd like to do, but how to do it. Problem is, I'm pretty sure this piece of wood is this piece of wood, which I can't remove. So the frame, these pieces are connected to the back side of this piece of wood, where all of these webbing, the jute webbing, is attached to, that holds the entire bottom frame on, like the structure of the support system of the springs. So I'm not sure I'm going to be able to remove the legs. I want to remove the legs, but I think I might have to cut them off with a saw. We're gonna have to think about this one. So the real question is, how are the legs attached? Because I need to take those off. And then I talked to my husband, and he says that we could take the circular saw and cut off this front edge because I want to replace it with something else. So I think we could do that. But I got to take the legs off to do that. All right, so these ones are a part of this piece of wood. So these ones are just gonna get cut straight off right here. And we're gonna make it look so good. Are you worried yet? I might be a little bit worried. Did I say trust the process? Because you definitely should trust the process when it comes to something like this. Yes, I am a professional upholsterer. I do this for clients, I work with designers, but I'm not usually tearing apart frames like this. This is something that I like to do on the side. I see pieces on Facebook Marketplace or the thrift store, and I'm just like, that would be so cool if it was just done a little bit differently. And well, I guess I have an appreciation for older pieces, but not all types. I don't like this style, but the quality of older pieces, the makeup of their actual like frames and their structure is just so much better than what you get today, that is made to be thrown away in 3 to 5 years, depending on how many kids or dogs or how much usage they get out of it. If you're a gamer, you're a couch potato, your furniture is going to wear a lot faster if it's something that's purchased now. But older pieces are made to last, and they should be just redone if you have the time or the funds to do so, because they are worth it. So come back for part 2. You can subscribe and like all that fun stuff on YouTube. This is a new channel, so I definitely appreciate it if you would. And I can't wait to share what's next with you.